Welcome back, everyone. We are continuing our conversation with Dawn Johnson. Before the break, I was explaining to you that she is a successful entrepreneur who has a passion for helping the community through financial literacy and also those who are aspiring to be a successful entrepreneur like yourself. One of the things that we ended on before the last break was talking about Bill. Right. This is a grassroots organization that you helped co-found to help Black entrepreneurs in York County. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So the city of Rock Hill realized that as they were building initiatives to grow, that there was a segment of the community, the African American community, who did not feel involved and engaged in what was developing, and they wanted to figure that out. So we assisted, a group of leaders within the community came together before Bell was founded and just tried to offer advice and goals to help them make sure that it was a very inclusive initiative. So we continue to meet to continue to work on those goals, because now that it was recognized and acknowledged that there was a large segment of the population, because in Rock Hill, African Americans make up 38% of the population that was missing out on opportunities.
Yes.
So we have laser focus on, through workforce development and education, business development and innovation, leadership development and training, to help close the wealth gap.
And I know obviously that that is just limited to people who live in York County, but the reason I wanted to share it with our viewers today, because there are plans to expand that opportunity beyond York County.
Right. As we're trying to build a center in Rock Hill, but as we build a center and we become more technologically advanced, we're hoping that we'll be able to engage others in other communities. We've already been a part of so many forums where we're learning with other organizations and sharing our knowledge. So we're hopeful that either what we're doing will help other organizations that are similar to ours have similar successes, or that we can expand and help people in other areas as well.
So you guys remember that, Bill. Don't forget it, okay? You also founded Just Dawn Johnson LLC earlier this year, an amazing opportunity for so many in the community who have those same dreams that you once had about becoming a successful entrepreneur. What was the moment, the aha moment for you that you realized, I needed to do something more past Bill, more past my insurance agency and just my community service that you already do an amazing job at, that you wanted to reach out a little farther and help people?
Absolutely. So I knew that, alignment with the insurance agency was there in terms of the financial literacy, but after doing Bell and doing so many programs and just listening, really listening to women, engaging with them in so many different environments, I recognized it was something else that was needed. So Just Dawn Johnson was me saying, I'm taking off all these hats that I wear with community organizations. It's just me. This is Just Dawn Johnson sharing with you my journey, my fears, my anxieties, and those are the things that we don't talk about, that we have to work on as women sometimes, because we're showing up in spaces where we're the only ones who look like us. Sometimes we're the only women, sometimes we're the only Black person, and we have to deal with that internally. And I realized that we needed to create environments where we can be vulnerable and we can share our fears, because I believe that sometimes we're afraid of talking about those things and people don't understand. So we need to be in safe places with ourselves where we can be vulnerable and then provide each other the support that we need. Like, let it all out here, and then you go out and you do what you know how to do. But we need safe places. We need to hold each other accountable for self-care, because mental health issues are on the rise, and I think it's because sometimes we're isolating ourselves and we're trying to deal with our fears by ourselves, and we're not inviting in community.
And Dawn, there's also an emphasis on helping Black women.
Right.
Why is that?
Because I feel like we have this notion of, I think the dialogue now is around being strong, and we've always been known to be strong people and having to overcome so much in our society. We wear a lot of hats. We typically are the pillars of our families. We're typically pillars of our community. Now, people always are saying, oh, you do too much, right? So I wanted to embrace that yes, we do too much, and it's okay, because that's who we are, but at the same time, we have to have harmony with the rest of our lives to make sure that we're feeding our spirit, that we are taking care of ourselves first and putting ourselves first, because the numbers in terms of our financial piece, our net worth, is so low, not because we don't know how to manage money, it's because we're taking care of so many people. Typically, we kind of, once we make it, we become the first national bank of our families.
Yeah.
People call us, and we have such big hearts. And it's not that we don't need to help, but we need to find other ways to help where we're not slowing our progress down. And being able to be honest about that is something I don't think we've been able to do in the past.
And Dawn, coming up in November, you are hosting a big retreat under the Just Dawn Johnson platform. Tell our viewers more about that and what they need to do to be able to attend.
Absolutely. First you can go to JUST.DawnJohnson.com, and you can click on the menu and find Self-Care Weekend. And Self-Care Weekend was myself. When I turned 50, I began the journey of saying, yes, I do too much and I need to start pulling back. I'm kind of, entering another phase of my life. But it was difficult. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to pull back from various things. So then I figured out, do I have to figure out how to pull back from some things, but I needed to figure out how do I still not kill my passion, my desire to help people, by just saying I have too much on my plate. But how do I do that in a responsible way and in a self-empowering way? So Self-Care Weekend started out with me having a birthday party with just, I think it was 20 women initially. And after lunch, we had a luncheon, no one wanted to leave. We were enjoying each other's company so much.
That's how you know you had a good time.
That's how you know you had a good time. The restaurant was kicking us out. So the next year I said, I'm going to do this again. And it was 40 women. And then the next time I said, I'm going to make this a weekend.
Yeah.
And then it was 60 women.
Wow.
So it just kept growing. So I said, you know what? Why don't I turn this into a weekend where all the things that I've been hearing women say when we come together for the celebration, that those needs get addressed. To just take off all the hats, forget who you are for a minute, forget that you're a mom, forget that you're a wife, forget that you're a business owner, and just focus on yourself. This is a weekend of being selfish and being okay with being selfish and just focusing on what do you need as an individual so that you can keep moving forward in life in a healthy way.
And that's a key to a part of your success, taking those breaks, because if you're not able to be mentally and physically healthy and you don't rest, then you can't succeed in anything. So that's important. How do I sign up? And how does everyone else watching sign up? Because this is going to be this upcoming November in Charlotte, right? So right up the road.
Yep,
so how do
Valentine Hotel, one of my favorite spots. I'm letting you in on a secret.
Yes, really
When
nice
I first
area.
came to the area, I would do little mini sabbaticals by myself to Valentine weekend to have a massage and take time for myself. So I'm kind of going back to the roots and to the basics and saying this is what every woman needs and not feel guilty about it. So if you go to JustDawnJohnson.com, you can sign up for Self-Care Weekend. And it's a weekend where we have lots of activities, but you don't have to do them all. You can do a couple, you can do all of them. It's up to you to look at the itinerary and decide what do you need right now. But you will be in a community of women, and we will all be at this hotel where when you want to interact with a lot of women, you can, but if you want to stay in your room and chill, you can. So there's no pressure, no obligations, but it's a serene place where we're holding each other accountable for just taking care of yourself.
That is so important. We're going to pause right there. When we return, we're going to talk about Dawn Johnson being awarded the Top Entrepreneurial Woman to Watch by Career Master Magazine. A great award. I want to hear more about it, and I know you do too. We'll be right back.